Morning, Leslie. Oh. Good morning.
Morning. It's not quite organised here. Oh,
Well,
sorry.
you're obviously better organised than everyone else because we're the only two here right now. So how's things been going so far this week?
Yeah, not not a lot of change since we spoke on Tuesday, but there's other things crowding in. Like I've been concerned. My mum's in hospital.
Your mum is?
Mum, yeah.
Oh,
And
I'm sorry.
I mean, she lives some way away, and my sister's up there at the moment. Probably, I mean, the best thing really that she went in, considering how she has been over the last few weeks, particularly on her own. So, I mean, it's good that she's getting some attention and some treatment. But obviously, it's a worry in your mind, and not being close enough to visit or anything.
Yeah.
And on top of that, my younger daughter that lives at home with us, her friend got COVID, and so Beth's had to have a test yesterday, so we're waiting to hear about that as well.
Wow.
I mean, she's not showing any symptoms or anything, but obviously you've got to be on the on the safe side, haven't you?
Yeah, you have. Yeah.
So
yeah. Challenging. Yeah. Well, I mean, but those are the kind of things with the work that we're doing. Is the whole purpose of all of this is to enable us to sort of better manage all of the tiny little really insignificant things, so that when we're plunged into the kind of thing you're describing, because that's what life does to us, that we can ride it out and we'll come out of it, resilient and well. It doesn't mean we don't have dips, but it means they're not the things that send us into a tailspin of inability to cope. So that's good. Right, this is most unusual for Geraldine to not be here early. And I actually, this is the one session I've got some practical work that I want everybody to be doing. So that's typical, isn't it? So it might, if it's just you and me, well, at least we can do it together, and it will model it for anyone who picks up the video. And you know what will happen is Sod's Law, we'll just begin it, and then
somebody will join.
Popping in. They're bound to. Well, let me tell you what it is that I'm planning to do today. So what we're going to focus on today is the inner critic and positive attributes. Okay.
I've definitely got an inner critic.
Oh, well, yeah. We all have. We all have one of those. So today we're going to have a little chat with it. We're going to see what it's got to tell us. But clearly, this wouldn't be this programme if we didn't flip that, would it? So we want to flip that and look at positive attributes, which the irony is, we're more comfortable with the inner critic. And when you ask people about positive attributes, that's the kind of squeaky, oh no, don't make me do that.
Yep. Yes, I've been having to do that with the career coaching and things. It's like, oh no.
I know. It is squeaky, but I hope that the way we'll do it here, it will fall into place and it will make sense of how it plays out. And I hope it will be much. I mean, there will be a bit of squirminess, of course. So what I was planning was that you could all go away, spend 5 minutes on your own, thinking about what kind of attributes you have. But what I thought we'd start with, and this is where I did hope you'd all be here, so that I could split you into little groups, so you didn't have to, necessarily start off by telling me about your inner critic. You could just chat amongst yourselves and probably get into a nice conversation, I'm sure, where you could all share, oh, that happens to me, oh, I do that.
Yeah.
But sadly, it's just you and me, so I apologise for that, Leslie. So in terms of the inner critic, let's just indulge it for a little while. What kind of things does your inner critic tell you about you? The things you can't do. You know, what kind of things does it interfere with? Where does it trip you up?
Yeah. It's difficult to be specific at the moment. Basically telling me I don't know, when I was working that, you know, I was maybe not good enough. I couldn't understand certain things. I can't prioritize and organize myself. Can't make decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah, really not having any confidence to do anything new, and sometimes not to do anything specific and plan what I'm doing.
When you describe that, is it kind of the inner critic sort of tells you that you can't do those things? Is that it's kind of a no, don't, you can't do that?
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
Is that where the confident bit comes in? That is saying, no,
yes.
What were you thinking? what were you thinking?
Yeah. Oh, it's difficult to say which, you know, if you distinguish between the two.
Yeah.
But yes, confidence. It's yeah. Oh no, I can't go and talk to so and so because I don't know enough to talk to them. I'm not confident to talk to them about that particular thing.
Right. So not good enough, don't know enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
And I suppose there's things like sort of body confidence type things as well. Sort of, yes, I have lost weight, and you know, I still follow Slimming World and various things, but still within your head, it's like, oh, I don't. Yeah, no, you don't look very good in those clothes. You don't look, you know, you don't feel confident in that kind of way. So it's a critics with, you know, can't work out what to wear because you don't look good in anything. Those kind of things.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe we will get something interactive. Hi, Sharon. Assuming Sharon, she's looking quizzically. I don't know if she's hearing us yet. Can you hear us? What I'll do when there's some sound, I'm not sure. It's
trying
great.
To balance it on something.
Put together their
trying to balance her
technology.
phone on something funny again, isn't she?
There she is.
Yeah.
So,
I'm trying to balance it.
Oh, well done. And I'm really pleased to see, it looks like, oh, no, you are in your kitchen, aren't you? I was hoping you were perhaps in a different space.
No. I was hoping so, but no, not at the moment.
All right.
Should be fine though. Got one, yeah, that's fine.
What we're doing today, I was just saying to Leslie, so Leslie and I've kicked off a little bit, but we can adjust this, it's fine. What we're doing today is talking about inner critics and positive attributes. So what Leslie has beautifully just started with me, but if you don't mind doing it again with Sharon, what I thought would be useful is for the two of you to just talk together for a moment about inner critics. Like, and Leslie has already kicked off, so she'll have some stuff she can share with you, I'm sure.
If I can remember.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll compliment on. So I just want to get a feel for, clearly we're going to flip it on its head. We're not going to just spend an hour talking about what makes us feel rubbish, because that wouldn't be the point of this program. So do you feel able to do that, Sharon? If I put you in a room with Leslie?
Yeah.
Right, bear with me a second, because in theory this should work. So this should take you to a room. Let's hope.
Well, you did it the other day.
I did, but I'm doing it manually this time, so hang on a minute. Okay, I'm putting you both in the room. So just spend a few minutes talking about, you know, all the, well, you've got the piss, shall we not, in a critical, and I'll catch up with you in a moment. if anyone's watching the replay, I'm waiting for people to return from breakout rooms, not just watching me like paint dry. Hello.
Hello. Sorry, I'm just going to have to cough. Hang on a sec.
So how was that? Are we both drowning in? Was that useful? Did you easily come up with stuff? I'm sure you did.
Sorry, yes. I just accidentally muted.
Oh, she's having a coughing fit.
Sorry, I muted my speaker rather than my microphone.
Oh,
so I didn't hear what you said.
No, I was just saying. So I'm sure you had loads of things there to share with one another. And obviously the plan is not to sink you in the mire, but how many of those things, when you share them out loud, do you actually think are really valid? Do you believe them deep down?
Yes.
Do you?
Some of them, yes.
Right. Okay, we have some work to do then, don't we? That just shows how powerful these things are, that they persuade us that this is the truth, and we're so much more ready to believe the truth that's negative. And often people talk about negativity as, that's the realistic, that's the pragmatic view, and yet it's no more realistic or pragmatic than the flip side. It's just the view that we choose to view. Now, there is a reason why the brain does that, but we don't have to follow the pathway that it presents for us. So here's the squirmy bit.
Maybe I've squirmed already.
Did you squirm about the inner critic? And we'll let you squirm even more now, because we're going to do the positive attributes.
Oh, right. Okay, yes.
Yeah, you forgot, didn't you?
I forgot, yeah.
Yeah. But to make it easier, because I know it's really hard because we're not generally taught, are we, to talk about what we're good at, what lovely qualities we have, how amazing we are. It's just not usually the thing we're encouraged to do. However, to make it easier for you, I want you to imagine that I've got, instead of you two here in the room with me, that I've sent you both away, and I've got someone who loves you very dearly and knows you pretty well. And I've asked them to tell me, what would you say are the things you really love? What are the qualities that you really value in Leslie Sharon? So, to give you a bit of space, I'm going to let you think about it for a few minutes. You can turn your videos off if you like. What I think would be helpful is if you post it in the chat box, but don't send it anywhere yet. Just use that as your little notepad. And at this point, so don't allow the inner critic in. So there's no, oh no, but I can't say that because this is, it could be your best friend, your partner, someone who really knows you. What would they say about you if you weren't here and I said, listen, tell me, what are all the cool things about Sharon, Leslie? Everyone clear?
Yeah, I can't post anything because I'm actually using the phone.
Oh, do you not have a chat option on yours?
Can I do? Oh, does it somewhere?
Maybe if you scroll down.
No,
nothing.
I think it's because it's such a small. Oh, now I've lost that. Ah!
Oh, she's gone.
She's gone.
Yeah, no, where's that gone? Oh, hang on a minute. What's going on? Oh, right.
Well, there you are. There you are.
Yeah, no, I won't start fiddling anymore. I don't. No, I.
All right.
I'll know them anyways. I mean,
good.
I don't know them. I mean, I can remember what I'm thinking. Right, I won't have to post.
All right, good. How about you, Leslie? Can you remember yours, or do you need a little thinking time?
I don't know that I'll come up with much more if I have any thinking time, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was such fun, don't we? Well, given that you're both so, Sharon, you kick off then. Let's forget the chat bit. Forget that, because it's only 3 of us after all. So, What would someone say about you then, Sharon?
If I'm really honest, just because of where I'm at in life right now, I would struggle. I know in theory what people might say.
What would they say then?
I don't think it's who I am now, though, at the moment.
When you're at your best, what do they say about you?
Kind, compassionate, unloving. I think it's more about it's just very genuine, empathic, caring, compassionate, that kind of angle. And generally quite happy, outgoing, social. That's why I'm saying I would really struggle to find anyone saying that at the moment. So I think
no,
but in the past, in a different phase of life, then that's, I guess they're the ones.
Yeah, I think that's a great list. I think that's a really good list. So I accept what you're saying. How real, I mean, given that you're saying that you don't feel that's right at the moment, how much do you believe these? If you were, weighting the scales, which are you believing most, this set or the inner critic stuff?
Well, I think there's always a mixture of both in people.
Yeah.
At the moment, I can't relate at all to any of those other qualities.
Okay.
Because the inner critic is too strong at the moment.
Yeah.
It has been quite some time. And that's mainly due to work, but but other things too.
Yeah.
So they're there. I know that the real me are those other qualities. That's the person I relate to and I understand.
Yes. And that's what we want. That's the part we want to get to. That's the part we all want to get to, is the inner you. That stick of rock that we talked about before that had the negativity flowing through it. We want to switch it back to the positivity flowing through it. So Leslie, did that help you come up with yours?
Yeah, I think I've got a few, but I know that the close family would have some more criticisms, but I'll pass over those.
Yes, definitely.
A good listener, possibly a good mother, being there for my daughters whenever.
Yeah.
Even now they're bigger. I think some people would actually say that I was organised and logical.
Yeah.
Can't really think of anything else, to be honest.
Even if I just push you a little bit? What would your best friend say?
Problem is, I don't think I've got a best friend, so...
In the past, would you have had best friends in the past, or close friends?
I suppose not. Since I've been really little, have I had anybody that's really been really close.
So who would be saying any of this stuff? Are you thinking of your family would say this when they're being nice?
Yeah.
Okay. How about you? Is there a part of you that sees some qualities that you haven't already mentioned, like organised, logical, good listener, good mother?
No, nothing I can think of.
No?
Really? No.
Now, because this is the nice stuff, if anyone wants to pitch in with anything, because we don't know one another intimately at all, but sometimes we make and only positive judgments, and I know that's all we're going to do here because that's the kind of space we're in. I pick up, I don't know about you, Sharon, I pick up on, you seem to have quite a steady calm. There's something about you, there's like a calm energy. Did you sense that, Sharon?
Definitely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
how does that sound when you hear that, Leslie?
Sorry, what for?
That you have
What, for me?
a calm, steady air about
Oh,
you.
see, sometimes, yes.
Yeah. I mean, Sharon's already suggested this, which is true. We're never all of any attribute, never. You know, there's a flip side to everything. You know, we can be too calm, you know, when we're too laid back and we're just not, the house is on fire and we're just chilling, clearly. So this is never an all or nothing, good or bad, right or wrong, ever. None of it is.
Yeah.
But this is about paying closer attention to the elements that are, as Sharon said, the real you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Actually, with you having said that, I think I remember some feedback at work from some people saying that, you know, I dealt with certain things quite calmly and things, whereas I wouldn't have thought that. I was panicking underneath.
Right. Okay. That's good.
Can I know this sounds like, I don't mean to sort of spanner in the works. Sometimes it can help. I didn't do that either, but I do know. If you thought, Leslie, it's good to get feedback from other people, but if you think about you, do you have something you could say what you think your core values are?
Yeah.
That represent you.
Yeah.
And that kind of helps us sometimes to think, okay, who am I? What are my values?
Yeah.
What do I don't know if that makes it any help to think of for yourself, what you really believe in for you, who you are.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to cough again.
I think you're right. To come at any angle that might help. Sometimes though, I think we lose touch with our values. I think sometimes when we lose touch with ourselves, we don't even know what our values are. I don't know anymore. I don't know.
Yeah. That's
I'll
true.
be another one.
That's true.
And I did love yours, and I do get a sense, Sharon, which was really nice, of despite what you feel, the element of you being happy and sociable does actually still, there are still embers of that there, trust me.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So they're always there, but obviously we're not fanning those. We're just kind of, they're under some wood pile somewhere.
Yeah.
Down the end of the garden where the hedgehogs live.
Yeah.
So we are more willing to accept the negative stuff, but I want you to think about this, if it helps. And I know there are loads of tools of doing this, but if someone actually said to you, and there may be people in our lives who say stuff like this, just like, if I just share some of the things Leslie shared, you know, people say to you, you're not good enough, or you're rubbish at organising, you look crap in that outfit. you just don't know anything. What's the matter with you? You're pathetic. If you have someone in your life who actually says that to you, what would everything in you conspire to do? Would it be to remove yourself from the situation, to just distance yourself from them?
It depends who it would be coming from, wouldn't it? Because if someone at work was giving you feedback like that, you would need to sit and accept it and really think it through. But if it was a criticism, just a general criticism from someone else, I don't know. Yeah, I would either fight back or distance myself.
Right. So I like that on two levels. Go on.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult if it was a family member saying, "Oh, you know, you look awful in that" or something. Yes, you can distance yourself for a bit, but if you're living with them in the same house, you've got to work something out.
Yeah, I really like the examples you gave. I really like that, because so if I just take what you said, Sharon, about the work thing, would that be anyone at work? Just because it's the work situation, or would you have sufficient judgment to know, no, this person is just, they don't have valid criticism, they just or is it anyone in the workplace who has an appropriate title?
Yeah, I think anyone in the workplace who has, well, not even just an appropriate, I mean, obviously an appropriate title, yes, but I think anyone, because I think if people say things in the workplace, always they don't say them, do they? They just kind of give you a look that you interpret. But then I think, well, that's valid because they are observing something in you that they feel isn't, I don't know, sufficient for that particular job. So I would take that on board and think, I mean, if it was totally out of order for no reason, it would still sink in, it would still hit home, because I think we pick up much more on our negative feedback than we ever do on our positive.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
So I would probably take most of whoever it came from. It would, even if I just smiled and said, oh, okay, it would hit in. It would make me go, ooh.
Yeah. So I think what's interesting there is I understand constraints of both. So first of all, let me just backtrack slightly. First of all, I'm not suggesting that the strategy here, that I'm not suggesting any strategy at all behaviorally. I'm just interested in how people think. So yeah, you can't necessarily distance yourself or fight back in certain situations. There are situations where you're kind of stuck with it. But I wanted to ask the question about how you felt about it, which clearly is like, it's an uncomfortable feeling. And the fact is, with the inner critic, we allow it to exist. We allow it to live inside us, to constantly tell us, berate us, tell us we're not good enough, tell us we can't do this, tell us we can't do that, tell us we look rubbish in whatever. And that was the only point I was making, is that if it were outside of you, you would, if you had a choice, would distance yourself or fight back. And yet, inwardly, you just allow it. Yep, yep, you're right. Yep, you're right. Yep, you're right. Even though you're not feeling, you know, like there's a feeling inside that we can tell, no, this isn't valid. This isn't valid. But we allow it anyway. And that was the only point, is it's about being good friends to ourselves. So if we don't have an external, everything I'm about is not about the external, because it's not the external world that causes the problems. It's the internal world that causes the problems. It's how we interpret, how we respond, how we react, how we think. So we want to start being that good friend to ourselves, and inwardly just being a bit kinder and compassionate and, you know, to ourselves, you know, using those skills that we have to be calm. You know, you both, you know, you phrase it differently, but, you know, Leslie talked about being there for others. Sharon, you talked about being loving and compassionate and kind, and yet to yourselves. That's kind of gone on a walkabout. And I think that's one of the core things, is going, hang on a minute, why don't I just give this to me for a little bit? Just give myself some of this stuff I have, to be, you know, empathic about, oh, how am I feeling about this? Instead of just go, I'll just get on with it. You know, like someone's just told you did a rubbish job at work, just get over it. Like, no, have a bit of empathy for yourself. And be there for yourself. And I'm not saying this is nothing I ever present is, oh, here's the solution, here's the answer. It's just about hopefully enabling, like we're just trying to shift tiny things, you know, we're just trying to create little pebble ripples in a pond, some of which will land really well and create bigger ripples in a positive way. And others, you know, we just need to keep working at it. But just thinking about that, and I'm just going to reflect back on you and see how this feels when someone says it to you. So Sharon, you are kind, compassionate. So I'm looking at your picture, I should be looking at the camera. We'll do that again. So Sharon, you are kind, compassionate, you are loving, you are genuine, you are empathic, you are caring, you are happy, you are outgoing, and you are sociable. How does that feel when someone says it to you?
I mean, I know that's who I am underneath everything.
Yeah. Good.
I'm just not relating to it as much at the moment.
Okay. So Leslie, let's do the same thing. Leslie, you are a good listener. You are a good mother. You're there for other people when they need you. You're organized. You're logical. You're calm. How does that sit with you?
Yes, I think similar to what Sharon says. I know to an extent that that's true, but yes, it is difficult to hear and accept it fully.
Yes. How did it feel, irrespective of what your thoughts was telling you? How did it feel to hear it?
Quite strange, really, because you don't often hear anybody say it to you.
No.
Yeah. that's why I said nice, Leslie, because it's like, oh gosh, that was something positive.
Yes. Yeah, and we don't hear it enough. So that's partly why, in the void of, because we're in this place of everything's just falling apart. We have to start by giving it to ourselves. But obviously in the confines of here, I want you to know what that feels like, to have it said to you, to feel it landing, to know that it's true. And yes, there's always a flip side, but that's not what we're focused on. We're focused on, because as you've already pointed out, we're way too good at focusing on the flip side of what's not working, what's wrong, how this doesn't fit. And there are plenty of people out there to help us with that. Bless them, thank you. So it's about hearing it from someone else like me. And at least now you can go back into the recording and you can hear it again. And keep hearing it, keep tapping into it, going, I know you're in there somewhere. I know you're here. I know you're here, because this is about reconnecting with all of that. Now, what else? I'm just sorry, because I don't often write notes, but I just have written some notes today. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Right. No, we're good. What I want to do, because we do have time now, Fridays I don't normally do the hypnosis, but I think this is really important to have a nice little session now. Sharon, you look a little bit calmer than you did on Tuesday. Are you feeling a bit calmer?
A little bit. I'm about to head back to work though straight after this, so I'm just like using this hour to be away from it. Yeah.
One thing you just reminded me though, there was one thing I did want to say about the work thing. So there are situations where we're not in control. People just, there are rules, there are regulations, there's hierarchies, there's structures, there's whatever, in families and at work. But one thing I would just ask you to question a little, because you talked about it was valid if they were at work, but it isn't necessarily, because irrespective of the rules, the regulations, the structures, the hierarchies, the whatevers, we're dealing with human beings. To say that they're valid in everything they say because it's in the workplace makes an assumption that they are totally sorted in their own minds and their own bodies and their own thoughts, and that they have no problems and they're totally chilled and positive all the time, and there's nothing in their brains or their lives that's causing them to be utterly negative and destructive, which doesn't exist, does it? So getting you back to a place where you feel more in touch with you and those core attributes enables you to see the wood for the trees better, to be better able to judge. Hang on a minute, that's, oh yeah, that's valid criticism. Yeah, you're right. you're right, maybe I skimped a bit on that thing, and that's why, yeah, thank you for that. That's helpful. That you can distinguish between someone that's just, they just trashed something. Why? Was there really anything wrong with it? Was there really anything you didn't? And that's the key. So it's not valid just because it's in a certain place. It's coming back to you and that judgment call that you're able to make when you feel more connected with part of you. Geraldine's a bit late. So I'm just gonna I'll just let her in, but we're gonna do
oh, nice on me.
it's taking a while. What's going on?
Hello.
Hi, we're just gonna do a meditation, so you just get yourself comfortable.
Right, I'm really sorry. I was out walking the dog and I got back home and I thought, oh, it's Friday. Just don't know where my brain went.
Don't worry. Well, we know that. Well, we all have that, don't we? Don't worry, Geraldine. So what I'm going to do is ask everyone to turn off their videos again, and I'm going to mute everyone. So you've come for the best bit, hopefully. You didn't have to do the squirmy bit, you jammy person. Right. Okay, so everybody's got their cameras off, which is lovely. I'm going to turn mine off too. And we just have a short time here. But even in a short time, a very short space of time, we just create a little pocket, a bubble if you like, a moment or several moments, where for the time being, we can temporarily just be with ourselves, be for ourselves. And just take a few moments to refresh and reflect on those qualities that we have, at the inner core, the real part of us, that doesn't often get noticed by others or reflected on by others. So we may need to take a moment now to reflect on how kind, compassionate, loving, genuine, empathic, caring, happy, outgoing, sociable. What a good listener, a good mother, being there for others, organised, logical, calm. We are all these things. You are all these things. You, Sharon, are kind and compassionate, loving and genuine, empathic and caring, happy, outgoing, social. And you, Leslie, are a good listener, good mother, being there for others, organised, logical, calm. And you, Geraldine, though you haven't yet shared, we know you are thoughtful and considerate, attentive to detail, focused, warm, caring, and other qualities that you may not have paid close attention to till now. And now is the time to simply spend some moments reflecting and maybe being the person who gives those qualities to you. Imagine you have the best friend in the world, the closest person in the world who is kind and compassionate and loving and genuine, empathic and caring, happy, outgoing, sociable, good listener, good mother, is there for others, is organised, is logical, is calm, is attentive to detail, warm, sociable. I wonder if you allow those qualities in, to reflect them back in and to yourself, to be that friend. Imagine being that friend to yourself, to give all those qualities. Allow them to be, to nurture them, to fan the little embers so that they become little flames, knowing that they exist, that that is who you are, the core of you. Allow the barriers that perhaps distance you from the core you, the real you, the beautiful qualities that define who you really are at your absolute best. Allow them in. Give them as gifts to yourself. Become the friend who shares those qualities, who sits down beside you and is kind and listens and is genuine and warm and outgoing and caring and happy, who sits down and methodically helps you organize, logically calming down the situation, seeing things clearly. Be the friend to yourself. And as I reflect some of the qualities you shared with me, maybe one or two stand out from the others. Maybe just one, or maybe all of them. Maybe your mind begins to show you and remind you of situations or times or places or moments, circumstances where you have felt those qualities, expressed those qualities, defined those qualities. Maybe it is just one that stands out, or many, but allow your mind to show you more, to dive deeper. Whether it is diving deeper into memories or moments of empathy, of caring, of sociability, of listening, of logic or calm or organization or attention to detail. Dive deeper. Allow your mind to remind you of other situations, memories forgotten till now, places, people, feelings, wonderful feelings where you felt totally connected. Allow your mind to lead you down the paths, creating the breadcrumb trail that takes you deeper, to expand and focus and shine a spotlight on those qualities that are at the core of you, that are you. Allow them to be you because they already are. Allow yourself to wander down the garden and pull those qualities out from beneath the wood pile where the hedgehogs live, or out from the attic beneath all the dusty files and folders of somebody else's drama. Allow yourself to dust them down and hold them in your hand and gaze at them and feel them. Pull them close to you, feel them at the heart of you. Give your mind the breadcrumb trail to join the dots. And whether your mind is thinking about any or all or one, just a single moment or a single quality or a single memory, just allow yourself to be with it, to be the friend to yourself, to be a good listener, a good mother, to be there for others, to be organized, logical, calm, to pay attention to detail, to be warm, to be considerate, to be caring, compassionate, loving, genuine, to be empathic, to be kind, to be happy, to be outgoing, to be you. Allow yourself to be and give yourself the gift, a gift you give to yourself, of yourself. And your mind will show you more pockets and more moments and more expressions of those beautiful qualities and attributes the more you allow it. So just gently, in these moments here, this space that we create for ourselves, just allow yourself to embrace those qualities and feel them within you. Feel yourself calmer and easier, lighter, and know that you take these with you into the rest of the day. But just hold them for a moment. And when you're ready, take your time before gently opening your eyes. And I wonder which quality takes you through the rest of the day, feeling just that little bit better. And It was short, but do you feel a little bit better equipped to head back to the melee, Sharon?
Yes. It is good to do that and to remind yourself of them. I did find myself thinking it's so hard to relate to that at the moment, but just remember it, just keep it in there somewhere.
Yeah, because so much of this is just planting little seeds in your mind, and just allowing them. You don't have to work at it or try really hard. I've got to think about this, because that's another thing you've got to do then. But just that little seed of calm or happiness. I remember that. That's just gives your brain the opportunity to start reminding you of situations and starts to connect you to how that feels, which is what leads you out and back to who you are. Geraldine's probably totally confused, so recap.
I was thinking, I came back from walking the dog and I came upstairs to get changed, which is why I'm sitting on my bed. But what I was thinking during that meditation was that at one time I would have been furious and telling myself I'm an idiot for forgetting what day it was, and I'm disappointed. I'm really disappointed I missed the session, but I'm not going to beat myself up about it. And I feel, will I be able to watch it later? Are you going to post it on the?
Yes, I will, and hopefully quicker than last time when I had the technology bit. It was rescued.
But I like that meditation. That was good. I feel
good.
Well, so much better. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad. So glad you got here for the end. How about you, Leslie?
Yes, I think.
Feeling serene,
a bit more chill.
Good. Chill is good. Right. So if you need to head off. We've got a couple more minutes. We just want to hang around and chat a bit, but don't feel if you've got a little voice calling you to a project or a report or a meeting, then
I was just actually wondering. It's tricky because I was thinking the menopause is a real thing. So there is a combination of physiological symptoms that affect us. Plus, like you said, which is there's all other stuff going on at that age. But then I was thinking, what happens if you if you think you've come out the other side of the menopause? I was actually hoping it would all just, I don't know if I am out the other side. I think I'm heading more out the other side than in it. And I thought, maybe it will just all get better, but it doesn't. And I'm like, is this it for now?
Yeah.
So do you think, I don't know what anybody else's experiences are, does it? Because I think what's interesting is somebody at work, there was a big meeting at work the other day, and one woman came on and just said, they were bringing up a lot of diversity stuff. It's the big thing at the moment. And she said really bravely, I don't even know this lady, on big video thing, Zoom thing, I would like to raise the issue of menopause. And my ears pricked up, went, whoop. And she said, I would like people to begin to know about this because I'm going through it. And said all the, the fuzzy head, the memory, the slow processing. And I thought, well done her. She didn't say much. And I just emailed her later. I said, thank you so much for being that brave.
Yeah.
Completely relate to it. But then I felt really bad because she said she was just in it and going through it now.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, does that mean what if I'm out the other side of it?
Yeah.
But I'm still feeling like, does it really still count as anything? Because it seems to be that people that are in the middle of it, they're saying, oh, yes, that's, we need to take notice of this. People who are really in the middle of the menopause, yes, we're beginning to understand the effects. And I'm thinking, well, if that leave me then, if I feel I'm coming out the other side, but I'm still feeling like this, is this normal? Is this...
I think it is normal. I think, yes, people are beginning to pay attention to menopause, but you're right. If we don't deal with how we're feeling in menopause, and we allow all this overwhelm and, you know, the fact that our serotonin levels have fallen, which means it's harder to deal with feeling happy, feeling calm, feeling coping. But we don't do anything with that. Then what we're doing within our brain is creating those grooves of thinking that take us down paths of continued, oh, I can't do this, this is really difficult, you know, that we've just created new pathways in our brain that have kind of stuck. We've got to, in my view, we've got to navigate ourselves out of that. And if we can do it during menopause, so much the better, because then we will be able to, that's my intention, is that then we will be able to come out of it and travel through it a lot more easily and come out of it going, oh, thank God, you know, oh, I feel like a great, you know, on a great new journey now, instead of, well, I just survived being run over by a truck kind of thing.
That's about it, yeah.
I don't know about anybody else, but I was 47 when I started going through the menopause. But I've had to do things like I've given up drinking. I don't drink. I have the occasional drop of good brandy occasionally, but I've given up wine. I don't drink gin. I just don't drink. And I've also cut right down on sugar. I do some occasionally, and then once I've had sugar, I want it the next day and the next day, because it's quite addictive for me anyway. But I have cut down on sugar, and that has helped with brain fog. That has helped me. It's helped me sleep better. It's helped me wake up not feeling like my head's full of sandpaper and fuzz and and meditation as well. So those three things I think have helped me a lot. But yeah, forgetting what day it is fairly new. Fairly new.
God. So no, I've done that loads.
I mean, occasionally I might think, well, what day is it today? But just to actually forget that I've actually got something, you know, to do and that I want to do, and that's a new one. So
no, I've had that loads.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've had that, don't worry. Yeah.
I don't know whether anybody else has tried to stop drinking if they drink or anything like that, but those have made a difference.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. I share your thing with the sugar, definitely. There's something I don't know what it is about sugar, whether it's all of us, but I just was like a wasp in August. And and I've used COVID as well to really help me with the whole gut health thing. And then I've become more interested in the gut-brain axis and how 90% of serotonin is formed in our gut. So I now notice a dramatic difference if I have a day where I've kind of gone, I go, oh, well, I just eat this, you know, and I'm eating sugar and all kinds of processed stuff, and I feel awful, really awful. Sorry, Leslie.
Forgot what I was going to say now.
Sorry.
It's Friday.
You love a group of menopausal women.
No, I was going to say I haven't stopped, but I've tried to cut down on alcohol and caffeine. But that was more at the suggestion to help with the urge incontinence. So I've had that issue. I'm seeing a pelvic physiotherapist or women's health whatever she is, and she was suggesting things like that affect your bladder. But I didn't actually feel any difference because I have to do a bladder diary from time to time before I go and see her, and it's like, oh, and fizzy drinks as well. Not that I drink a lot of fizzy lemonade, Coke or anything like that. It was fizzy water. There's me drinking all this water, and then she said, but it's fizzy. It's like, okay. But having said that, I haven't seen a vast amount of difference in that area from cutting down so much. Maybe the coffee, maybe the caffeine, yeah, but I still have bits. But
Leslie, what difference does fizzy water make? I didn't.
No, I didn't know that.
No, it's something to do with the whatever it is that's in it, carbon dioxide or whatever, that gives the fizz.
Oh dear, because I have problems too, but that's related to the fact that when I was 17, I had transverse myelitis, which paralysed me from the chest down, and I had to learn to walk again, and it's had long-term effect on my bladder.
Mm-hmm.
But I drink Slimline tonic all the time. I drink about 2 pints of it a day, so I'm wondering whether that's going to make it worse, which is a bit of a blow because that's my drink of choice now that I don't drink alcohol.
Yes.
Well,
I can't remember specifically what she said, but there were several things, and it's like, so what am I going to drink? Plain water, right?
Ooh.
Okay. Plain water, decaffeinated coffee and tea, fruit, herbal teas.
Gosh,
Which
I
I
didn't know either.
I don't mind some of those. And I have changed to drinking some of those, but
oh, I'm afraid I'm a bit of an addict of coffee.
well, I was as well. So it's probably helped me a bit to cut down, but I actually finding occasionally I'm thinking, feeling really tired, and suddenly I'm just having a normal coffee now.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, if you give up too much, it's just can be a bit miserable, can't it? I mean, we all
That's what I thought.
all
You know,
like a
it's
bit
like,
of comfort in food or drink or whatever. We all like to get some comfort, I think, from what we put in our bodies.
Yeah. You've got to have something nice in life, haven't you?
yeah.
I'm afraid I have to head, but if you ladies want some, why not get together? It sounds like there's lots to share. Maybe there's a way we could. Would you find that valuable to maybe just have a little occasional gathering with the group that is you seem to be the core of the group. Jackie, bless her, she's clearly gone into another crisis. Do you want me to schedule something for that, or do you want to do it between the three of you? Set something up.
I'm happy to, but it depends. I think Leslie and Sharon are more on a what's the word I'm looking for?
Schedule? No.
Yes. Yeah. Deadlines and things, whereas I'm not so much. So
I'm not.
No. Okay.
No.
I'm happy to do it. I don't know how to do the scheduling bit on the technical bit, but
I think if you just agree a time and then just set up a meeting, you can just all you need to do is agree the time. So if you all got Zoom, just schedule a meeting.
And I've done it before.
And just
we've done a lot of family ones.
Do you have to send does someone have to send an invitation?
Yes, I think so.
Actually, yes.
Yeah, I'm just wondering whether I can simply put the link to one of my meetings and you could just use that link. I don't know if I have to actually be in it. I don't think I do. You think I do?
I think you do, because otherwise it logs you out after a certain amount of time if the host doesn't join.
Oh yes, because I obviously I've got an extended version. That's true. Because
I've only got the free 40 minutes thing.
Well,
that's okay though, isn't it?
Yeah,
that might be long enough.
And you can just click back into it after the 40 minutes if you want to carry on.
Yeah.
And actually, with 3, it might automatically extend it.
Yeah.
If there's only 3 of us.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does.
I'll leave you to have a little chat. I don't know if I jump out of here, you might all lose one another. So you might have to go to the Facebook page to set it up. But it seems like it might be a nice thing to do. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that'd be lovely.
Yeah.
We just need to agree a date and time, really, don't we?
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll love you and leave you until next Tuesday. Have a lovely weekend.
Okay. Thank you. And you.
Focus on your core beautiful qualities you all have. Yeah. So if you just do that, but just as I said, plant a seed. This is not effort. This is meant to be easy. Right. I'm gonna try and leave without. No, I can't. Can I? I can't leave. I'll just have to shut the room. Sorry, everyone. Okay.
We'll just message. We can just message via the thing.
Yeah.
By the group. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
All right.
So maybe we should maybe Sharon's the one with the more specific time pressures.
I think it's just tricky because my work's all over the place at the moment. So if we just maybe an evening, early evenings at tea time, something like that, or is that? But I'll try and work around. I mean, there's ways I can sometimes take a lunch break or something. So I'll try and work around. If you guys can think of a time that's good for you, and I'll just try and work around that.
Cool.
If not, early evening's fine, tea time-ish.
That's fine with me. Early evening. What do you mean? 5, 6, 7?
They're often more difficult for me actually because we still try to have family meal times and Guess who does the cooking.
We need to work on that.
About 4 o'clock, would that be okay? And I'll use that as a late lunch.
4's fine for me.
4-ish would work, yeah.
Yeah. I can use that as a late lunch or something.
Right.
Sounds like.
Should we look at the dates and then I know I'm just really wary that you want to go, Shirley. You need to.
So I'm sorry if I got that.
Well, we've agreed that.
We'll post the dates.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Gerald.
We've agreed 4 o'clock, so yeah, we can just message about the day. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Brilliant.
Take
All
care.
right.
Bye.
Okay. Thanks. Have a good weekend.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. And you all. Bye.